The IPCC sends out a report every few years. The first part is the scientific report. That's not a bad report. It's huge, 2,800 pages long. I've read most of them.
And let me guess, very few people read it.
Very few people read it. It's a daunting and extremely boring task.
And you read almost 2,000
Yes,
pages?
yes, it's very hard to do.
Wow.
Yes, and it's very technical. It's not an easy read. And so out of this paper, they dilute summary for policymakers. That's about 40 pages long, not written by scientists, written by bureaucrats and politicians. And even this, no one reads. So it's diluted to a summary for policymakers, about 40 pages long. This is not written by scientists. It's written by bureaucrats and
So
politicians.
2,800 pages written by scientists.
Yes.
Diluted to 40 pages for policymakers that were not written by scientists.
Not written by scientists, and even this no one actually reads. They dilute this to a few pages of bullet points, and this they hand out to politicians and news outlets
And how
the
far
media.
are those bullet points from the 2,800 pages?
Amazingly far.
Far.
And extreme weather events are the example for that. Because if you read the summary for policymakers or the bullet points, you are for sure, you know that we are facing extreme weather events. But as you look at the statistics, and this
Of
is written,
their report?
Yes, black and white, you see that there is no evidence whatsoever that there was a rise in extreme events in the last 100 years where the temperature has already risen by 1 degree centigrade. There was no rise in floods, droughts, hurricanes, tornadoes, cyclones, winter storms, hailstorms, thunderstorms.
No rise.
No rise
So
whatsoever.
the fact that I'm seeing more of that, it's because somebody wants me to see more of that.
You are not seeing more of that. You are being reported more about this. Think about the droughts in Central Europe that we are now hearing about in the news. It turns out that droughts are very well documented because it's easy to know if there's a drought. And these have been documented in
Droughts
Central
were
Europe.
documented in the Bible also.
For
That's
sure.
that far.
Droughts, they're one of the drivers of many of the biblical stories. We know
Yes,
this.
exactly.
And they've been documented throughout history in Central Europe for sure. And the last droughts do not even enter the worst 10 droughts. It turns out droughts in Central Europe are actually connected to cold weather rather than warm weather.
Wow.
No one knows this. Just read the data and read the science and you'll see that. But it's very hard. You need to dig into the data.
You're saying it's the cold that kills the plants rather than the sun that is actually giving it a lot of life.
For sure. And of course, this changes from place to place around the globe. In Central Europe, we know for sure the mega droughts, the drought that gave rise to the Great Hunger in Ireland, for example.
Yes.
There was a huge mega drought. This was caused during an extremely cold time.
So you read models, you read data, and you see a huge gap between what we're being told to what the situation on the ground is.
Yes.